So to kick off tonight's induction in fine style, please welcome the first of our inductees, the fabulous models.
I wanna see you twisted around. Yeah, you wanna change. You should be moving it around. You can take it when you got it. You can want it when you waste it. You can stop your baby crying. Count it out, shout in your sleep. You say the word, I hear. When it is Christmas for everyone else, oh, I feel like I've missed an appointment. Come on, sing happy birthday, sing happy. We all want to hear. Oh, you can walk out. Oh, you can walk out. Now let it out, shout to the night. And so it goes, I hear motion. Just count it out, shout in your sleep. You say the word, I hear motion. Yes, it is. Now let it out, shout to the night. And so it goes, I hear motion. Just count it out, shout in your sleep. You say the word, I hear motion. You say the word, I hear motion. Just count it out. Shout in your sleep. You say the word, I hear motion. 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 I hear motion.
Ladies and gentlemen, the models. induct the band into the ARIA Hall of Fame, please welcome a woman who sang backup vocals on the Models album Out of Mind, Out of Sight, and liked them so much, she joined the band. The magnificent Wendy Matthews.
Hello. It was a couple of years after making Australia my home, 1984 I think it was. I was on my way to the Sydney airport and a friend called asking if I'd swing by the recording studio and sing some backing vocals for a band. It's what you did then and still would in a heartbeat, change your flight for a recording session. I called into the studio expecting some very serious young things and met these lads who called themselves Models. They were recording an album and were looking for a backing singer. It was a beautiful summer's day, but there they were in a dark studio, still wearing last night's eye makeup. Playful, clever, friendly young musicians playing indoor cricket. And that's where our lifelong relationship began. For years after that day, we were traveling companions, musical buddies, and confidants. I loved their unpredictable quirk, the way they were so visual, their deep integrity, and for a bunch of guys, they were exquisite to look at. I was particularly taken by Sean Kelly. He and I became very close and supportive, spending 12 years together. I got to live early Models years quite vicariously. I have learned more than I could ever tell you about music and personal relationships and friendship. And I'm almost sure I would not be standing here today in any capacity if it were not for that airport detour. So to you wonderful scholars, I'm grateful. Thank you for the lifelong memories, the integrity, the style, and the music. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at Models.
Listen to 3RRR FM, and that, of course, was the Models, probably the most popular band in Melbourne.
Models formed in 1978. Over the next decade, they uncompromisingly lived on music's cutting edge while being commercially successful in Australia and the US.
Well, this is one of Sean's songs, and it was just a song that we selected to do as a film clip because we thought we could use it visually well.
Sean Kelly saw the band through each of its 11 lineup changes that heard them exploring the exciting sounds of punk, electronica and pop rock over their 5-album career.
We don't have any sort of ego problems or anything because my attitude is so good.
The Models' debut album, Alpha Bravo Charlie Delta Echo Foxtrot Golf, came out in 1980.
The group's attitude at that time was a very kind of casual one towards recording because we formed and existed essentially as a live performing group.
Then came the Cut Lunch mini-album. In '81, they left for England to record Local and/or General. In 1982, James Freud, Sean's good mate from their Teenage Radio Stars days, joined the band.
So yeah, James just obviously started playing bass with the group, and soon after that we got Barton in the band, and for me that was just the best because we had a really big, tight rhythm section.
In '83, Models released The Pleasure of Your Company, which saw them have major chart success.
And so it goes, I hear motion,
That album was going to be a big album for us. We thought it was going to, reach the masses, and it did to a certain extent.
We still enjoy making videos. I mean, we're fortunate in that we think a lot in terms of visual images. For us, it's just one of the great little things in our job is that we get to make little movies. We aim to make all our songs sound as individual as possible.
It was 1985 that Models enjoyed their biggest chart success when they released their Out of Mind, Out of Sight album that delivered their smash hit Barbados.
We came across a lot of people that thought our very first record was Barbados, you know.
Yeah.
That was where the Models began, you know. We thought we'd formed like a year before that or something, you know. Which is kind of weird.
Then, the title track, Out of Mind, Out of Sight, went all the way to the top, being the only Australian #1 single of 1985. And it was a top 40 hit in the US.
Well, we felt really confident about it. You know, when you put it on in the recording studio and turn it up really loud, it sounds as good as it does in a club really loud. So, you know, you can't really miss with something like that.
Ahead of their split in 1988, in early 87, Models were at the peak of their powers when they were co-headliners on the legendary series of Australian-made concerts that happened across Australia, forever cementing them in the fans' consciousness as one of our truly great bands.
Keep my body tight. Thank you. Yeah.
And here they are to accept their induction into the ARIA Hall of Fame, my own personal merchants of happiness, Models.
Thank you for those kind words, Wendy. Gosh, this really is fabulous. We're very lucky to live in a country like Australia, let alone be regarded highly in its music industry. So it's just amazing. In fact, I think I should acknowledge the traditional owners of Australia. Also, I'd like to mention James Freud, who's not here tonight. He's had another bicycle accident, but we know he'll climb back up on that bike again, and I'm proud to accept James's award on his behalf. There's some other people that played pivotal roles in the group, and I will mention them. They are Ash Wednesday, John Friedenfelds, Pierre Sutcliffe, Buster Stiggs, John Rowell, Graham Scott, Wendy Matthews, and Gus Till. I'd also like to thank our managers, Karen Marks, Mark Woods, Adrian Barker, John Lever, Chris Murphy, Frank Stavala and Mark Burchett at Premier Artists. I'd also like to thank our producers, Tony Cohen, Stephen W. Taylor, Nick Launay, Mark Opitz, Julian Mendelsohn, Lobby Lloyd, and Reggie Lucas. Our record companies, Michael Gudinski and Mushroom, Festival, A&M Europe, Geffen, Warner's, and our publisher, Mushroom Music. Thank you. And I also must thank the technicians and our road crew, and indeed our film clip makers and the media who wrote very nice things about us. I'd like to thank the ARIA on our behalf as well. I'd like to thank Rock Quiz for providing such a sublime and fantastic backdrop for our induction. And I'd like to thank the Australian public for buying our stuff and continuing to frequent our shows. Thank you so much.